All right, guys, in this video, we're breaking down exactly how I've made over $50,000 from Twitter alone with less than 600 followers. It's going to be a quick, concise video, no fluff, just some notes. Let's get into it. So the first thing we need to look at is the style of content that I post and that I have been posting. And so I work with founders. And when I started getting into personal branding content, I was creating content not to become a coach, but just to create content. I felt inclined to. And so I was creating content. I was talking about my businesses. I was talking about my lifestyle a little bit. I was giving value over the lessons I've learned and how it maybe can help other people. Very, very genuine, no pitch, no newsletter, no funnel, literally just posting content. And so as time went on, people started to reach out to me and they were like, hey, do you do any coaching? What is your offer? I'm looking for help with X. I'm looking for help with Y. And because of your content, I feel like you can help me. And so I was like, oh yeah, of course. And that sprung the offer. And that's what led me to becoming a coach. And so what I did was on my very first client is I posted a tweet and I said, hey, I'm going to be opening up my calendar for anybody that wants to talk about business, whatever, etc. I probably had like 250 followers at this point. And somebody booked a call. And I hopped on the call and they had a brand new brand, an e-com brand. And we talked a little bit and I gave some value. And we went off and I got off the call and I was like, I should offer coaching. I should offer some consulting. That should be how I can position and help people and make money. So we hopped on another call with the same person after I texted them the offer. And it was a sales call. Went through the offer, went through exactly how we could help them, closed the call. The coaching business was born. And the lesson from that is I gave upfront value. And that's a massive important part of my funnel with coaching. Because, and I'm going to get into the sales, structure and the offer, etc. But the offer was essentially a one-on-one coaching program, and they would also get access to resources. And so from my content and from the initial conversation, there was a lot of trust. They could read the content, they could look up the companies, they could see what I was doing. But not only that, they had a chance to speak with me one-on-one. And I actually gave them sauce value in 15 minutes. And so all of the content that I post and all of the content that you should be posting if you're going to become a coach is around competency. So I would post long form video breakdowns. I would post presentations very similar to this. I would post short form text value and broad mindset content because you need top of funnel, you need the middle of funnel, you need a variety of content in my opinion. Lifestyle, showing I walk the talk, right? Not saying I have these companies, but I'm eating ramen noodles. Talking head content displaying competency. People want to see your face. If you're going to have content on the internet, some people crush it anonymously. In my opinion, as long as you're relatively good at talking in front of the camera, get your face in front of the camera. It's just going to add trust. So I would post short form talking videos with the long form video breakdowns as well. And it's basically just a collective of content that shows that I know what I'm doing and I practice what I preach. From lifestyle to the actual, talking head stuff, everything has its purpose of showing people I'm competent and I know exactly what I'm talking about. And so this is how we would get leads. And this is how it started, right? So I started with that initial post about opening up my calendar. And then it became, okay, I'm going to engage with everybody that I see on the timeline that acts aligned in terms of entrepreneurship and business, etc. If you're on Twitter, it's called Money Twitter. And then everybody that would follow me, I would have a sequence that I would send them, essentially. And I would talk to them about what they're doing, what business are they running, how is it going, I would be vetting them, I would be qualifying them, but it would be genuine. You have to understand that people know what you're doing, they can read your BS, and so it wasn't coming from a place of I want to close you, I want your money, so I'm going to talk to you. I genuinely want to make connections. Now, at a certain point in the conversation, if it became clear that I could help somebody, then I would offer the initial conversation. Again, no sales resistance, no pitch. Let's have a conversation and maybe I can help, right? Maybe I can provide you value for your business and what stage you're at and what constraints you have and how you can fix it, etc. And from there, we go into the sales pitch. If you bait and switch people, they're going to know. You either pitch or it's genuine. Don't go in between. And if you're just going to pitch. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that that's a bad strategy, but don't bait and switch. And if you're genuinely going to want to help people, genuinely try to help people. And then the money just comes. I did this with somebody and we had a conversation, helped them with their business. And they didn't come on board, no problem. They referred me somebody a week later. That happens all the time. So just help people. Put time away in your calendar to have these conversations for your funnel with no intent of closing them. If after the initial, I'm getting too ahead. Let me keep going. Okay, yeah. Funnel initial conversation. So in every conversation in the DMs, we'd vet them, right? The business name, kind of a rough idea of how much revenue they're doing, their desire, their hunger, etc. All these things are very important. Their location. And so I would literally slam them with value. Like 15 minutes, I'm not kidding. I would, like the first 10 seconds, be like, hey man, like what's up? Nice to meet you. Or hey girl, whatever. Nice to meet you. Okay, great. Tell me exactly what you're doing with your time right now for your business. And I would literally go into a mini call. It was not a bait and switch like, hey, this is going to be some value talk and then I'm just pitching them the whole time. I genuinely hit them with as much value as I could as fast as possible to help them with as much as possible, because that's how you gain trust. And trust equals money. Trust equals money. Trust equals deals. And so you have to build that. And you can do that by providing value. And so I'd go into their constraints. I'd go into anything I could tell them, mindset, business strategies, funnels, whatever it is to help them with their business. At the end of that 15-minute conversation, I would say, it was great to meet you. I hope you found some value from that. If you want to learn more about how I work with founders and how we could work together potentially in the future, I'm happy to go into that if you're interested. 9 times out of 10, they said yes. 9 times out of 10. In the rare cases they didn't, no worries. Maybe we could have done a better job with the friction on the front end and qualifying them, etc. You learn from those things. But 90% going into, it's a warm sales call at this point. It's going to make you a lot of money. And so then I would go into my pitch, either on that same call, depending on my calendar if I had more time, or we just book it the next day, right? You want to keep it in those 1 to 2 day ranges, and then I would go into my sales call. And so the offer and the sales structure, I'll kind of combine them, but let's start with the offer. I'm still offering, one-on-one coaching with founders. We meet once a week. We talk for 45 minutes to an hour. We talk about exactly the biggest constraint in your business and how to fix it. You get resources, you get access to me during the week, etc. And we also talk about mindset, subconscious mind, because a lot of times life is a mental game. Not only business, but life is such a mental internal game. If we don't fix the mindset, we don't fix the subconscious mind, you're not going to grow. I could give you all the information in the world. It's going to fall flat. And so we need both. And so I would talk to them about that. And at this point, here's also something that's really, really, really important in my funnel, is at this point, because of the initial conversation and because I was basically probing them on their business, I knew exactly where we could go in 90 days realistically. You don't want these outrageous guarantees or expectations. You don't want that. People can see through that. It's going to come across scammy. And so because I already probed them on their business, I clearly could say with certainty that at the end of the 90 days or the 120 days, however many days we went, this is where they'll probably end up, right? So if they're at this revenue model, and I already know because I've probed them that I see clear low-hanging fruit that we can fix within the first 2 weeks, I can very confidently give them an idea of where they're going to end up. If you're a coach and you're coaching entrepreneurs, you have to tie your value back to money. Entrepreneurs want to grow their businesses. That's their biggest pain point. They want to make more money. If they pay you to help them grow, they should make it back, 2-3x at least. And so you can't really confidently say that if you don't have an idea of where the business is at. Because every business is very, very different. And so that was a big lever in the ability for me to close, is because with that initial conversation, I knew very well in 90 days where they would end up, how it could help them grow. They have action steps. I hold them accountable, and we do it. And we do it because, again, they have so much trust and certainty because they've watched my content, because we've had an initial conversation. I've already helped them. So the sale becomes very easy. And when you come from that level of trust and that level of certainty, there's nothing you can't sell. With that being said, if you're a founder, that wants to grow, check out the link in bio. It's going to be an application form to my coaching funnel. Now, when you apply and if you're qualified, we will have that initial conversation exactly how I described. So 15 minutes, I'll help you with your business, however way it needs the most help, what constraints, what fixes we can do. And again, you'll go through the same thing. If you want to talk coaching after that, we can. If you don't, I hope you enjoy the value, and I hope it helps you grow your business. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.